Sports House Podcast. I'm Chase House. The AFC and NFC Conference Championships are set in the NFL. And I'm going to start by talking about the New Orleans Saints game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Relatively quiet game early on. Saints led 3-6 with 11:30 to go in the second quarter when Brees was intercepted by Murphy Bunting, who returns it all the way down to the Saints' 3-yard line. Tom Brady, the very next play, finds Mike Evans for the 3-yard touchdown as the Buccaneers take the lead 10-6. Ensuing Saints possession, a trick play with 8:17 to go in the second quarter, Jameis Winston lined up out wide with Drew Brees on the sideline. They snap it to Alvin Kamara, who shuffle passes it to Emmanuel Sanders, reverses it back to Jameis Winston, who finds a wide-open Traquan Smith for a 56-yard touchdown as the Saints go back on top, 10-13. It was actually the longest play of scrimmage for the Saints the entire season, and it came from Jameis Winston against his old team for his only touchdown of the season. The Buccaneers would tie it right before the half with a Ryan Suckup 37-yard field goal, 13-13 at the half. Opening possession of the third quarter, Drew Brees finds Traquan Smith again for another touchdown, his second of the day. This time a 16-yard touchdown as the Saints go on top with 9:43 to go in the third, 13-20. And this is where it all goes south for the New Orleans Saints. They still have the lead, 13-20. On a 3rd and 2, when Drew Brees connects with Jared Cook, who has enough for the first down, but then he fumbles the football. Devin White recovers it, which leads to a 3rd and 5 for the Buccaneers at the New Orleans 6-yard line when Brady finds Leonard Fournette for a 6-yard touchdown to tie the game up at 20 for the Buccaneers. Saints are forced to punt their next possession, and the Buccaneers march down the field and kick a field goal. Ryan Suckup, a 36-yarder, to give the Buccaneers the lead with 9:52 to go in the fourth, 23-20. Ensuing possession, Brees is intercepted by Devin White. He tried to pass it to Kamara, thought he was going to stop in the soft spot of the zone. Kamara didn't turn around, kept running. Easy interception for Devin White, and he returns it all the way down to the Saints' 20-yard line. And with 4:57 to go in the game, the Buccaneers have a 3-point lead when Brady scores from 1 yard out on a QB sneak to give the Buccaneers a 10-point advantage, 30-20. Brees, the very next possession, tries to find Jared Cook on the right side, and it bounces right off of his arm, tipped up in the air, and it's intercepted by Mike Edwards. With 4:30 to go in the fourth quarter, Saints would never get the ball back. Buccaneers hold on to win the game, 30-20 over the New Orleans Saints. The Saints really melted down after the Jared Cook fumble. Their last 4 possessions of the game, including the fumble, was the Jared Cook fumble, a punt, and then 2 interceptions off of miscommunications from Brees and his wide receivers, and 0 points, and they were outscored 17-0 to finish the game. If you turn the ball over 3 out of your last 4 possessions against Tom Brady, it's going to be hard to close out a win. Any lead is hard to keep over Tom Brady. You can't give him any freebies. And then the Saints, man, it just seems like this is how it goes for them every year that they get into the postseason. It always ends with some sort of postseason collapse. Drew Brees, who just turned 42 this week, did not have a very good statistical game by any standards. He was 19 of 32, 134 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions with a 38.1 QBR. And you could make the argument that 2 of those interceptions weren't on Drew Brees, that they were on his receivers. The first one, well, I guess the second one of the game, Alvin Kamara, he's expecting him to turn around in the zone. It's a soft spot in the zone. He thought he was just going to hold it right there. Kamara just kept running. Easy interception for Devin White. And the second one, right off of Jared Cook's left bicep, popped up in the air, interception, and that could be the final pass of Drew Brees' career. Man, the Saints, they had this game. I mean, they were up by 7, and then their final 4 possessions just went absolutely the worst possible way you can go. I mean, 3 turnovers and a punt. They lost the turnover battle in this game 4-0. You're not going to beat a Tom Brady-led team when you turn the ball over 4 times. if you're not able to get any turnovers or takeaways yourself. Tom Brady threw less than 200 yards but didn't have the costly turnovers. He was 18 of 33, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, with a 92.9 QBR. The defense is the real story here and the biggest reason that they won the game. I mean, they took the ball from the Saints 4 times. The New Orleans Saints crushed me as they gift-wrapped this win for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. The Saints were my pick to win the Super Bowl, and, I stand by that pick. I still feel like they should have won the game, and I still feel like they're the better team, but they didn't play like it. Drew Brees, if this is his final game, then, he goes out as one of the greatest of all time, one of the best to ever do it. He leads. Him and Tom Brady are like first and second in every statistical category. But man, to go out like this, to go out in a game where you throw under 200 yards and 3 interceptions at home, that's going to be a tough way to go out. If Drew Brees, he said he was going to take his time in his decision to retire or not. It sure looked like, if you watched him leave that stadium, it sure looked like that was his last game. The double take that he takes in the tunnel and the emotions on his face while he was leaving the stadium for the last time, potentially, it looked like it was his last game. I hope he comes back. I would hate to see him end his career on that note, with his last pass being, an interception in the playoffs. But if he retires, what a career for Drew Brees, the all-time leader in passing yards. This win for the Buccaneers sets up a Tampa Bay versus the Green Bay Packers NFC Championship game. Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, the winner to the Super Bowl to represent the NFC as the old guy. The Green Bay Packers, they're moving on after their win against the Los Angeles Rams, 18-32. This game started out slow as well. It was tied at 3 apiece with 11:37 to go in the second quarter when Aaron Rodgers finds Davante Adams for a 1-yard touchdown. Davante Adams, he that boy, as the Green Bay Packers take the lead 3-10. Same score with 3:30 to go in the second quarter when Aaron Rodgers takes it in from 1 yard out to give the Packers a 3-16 lead after the missed extra point, which was a bad snap. Ensuing possession, the Rams have the ball with 29 seconds, second and goal at Green Bay's 4-yard line. Goff finds Van Jefferson Jr. for the 4-yard touchdown to get the Rams within a touchdown, 10-16 after the extra point. But with under 30 seconds to go and Aaron Rodgers on your team, that's always enough time, as the Packers were able to get in field goal range right before the half, and Mason Crosby makes a 39-yard field goal to give the Packers a 10-19 lead going into half. And then on the first play of the second half, Aaron Jones rushes up the middle for 60 yards to the Los Angeles 15-yard line, which then sets up Aaron Jones to punch in the 1-yard touchdown run to give the Packers a 10-25 lead. They failed the 2-point conversion, so we have a 15-point game. 2 possessions later, Rams have the ball when Sean McVay decides to get tricky with it. First and goal from the 8-yard line. Cam Akers, the running back, is lined up as the quarterback in the Wildcat formation, takes the direct snap and punches it in from 8 yards out to make it a 16-25 point game. Before the point after, they decide to go for 2 to try to make it a 7-point game when Sean McVay dials up the hook and ladder as Goff finds Van Jefferson Jr., who then laterals it to Cam Akers, who takes it in for the 2-point conversion to put the Rams within 7 points. With 1:41 to go in the third quarter. Later in the game, 2nd and 6, Aaron Rodgers, deep pass to Allen Lazard down the middle, wide open for a 58-yard touchdown. The Packers go up 18-32 with 6:52 to go in the fourth quarter. Rams have the ball now, 4th and 13 at the 50-yard line when Goff is sacked by Rashawn Gary. The Rams would never get the ball back as the Packers hold on to win it 32-18 over the Los Angeles Rams. Both quarterbacks actually played really good in this game. Jared Goff, remember, he's coming into this game with the thumb surgery, Goff went 21 of 27, 174 yards, and a touchdown with a 105.9 QBR. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 36, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown, and 108.1 QBR. I knew the Los Angeles Rams didn't have a chance as soon as Lil Wayne dropped a Green Bay Packers song. I knew it was over from then on. So the NFC Championship game is set. We have the Green Bay Packers at home taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. This is the first time that Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady will meet each other in the postseason, and there will be fans at the Packers game. They had fans in their last game. It was limited. I think it was like 8,000 or 9,000. But they used their signs that they had, and they banged them against their aluminum seats and created a super loud sound. It sounded way louder than just the 8,000 or 9,000 fans that they had in the building. So it kind of felt normal for a minute to sit and watch a game with fans. So all the implications for this week's game are going to be, can Aaron Rodgers keep Tom Brady from hosting a Super Bowl game? Remember, Super Bowl 55 is in Tampa Bay, so Tom Brady might not be done with home games this season. And I'm just going to say, the NFL, they want the Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is the best possible matchup for them. Patrick Mahomes going against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I mean, all the storylines are there. That's what the NFL wants. I want Bills-Packers. Give me Bills-Packers. Down in the AFC, the Ravens took on the Buffalo Bills. This game turned into a defensive battle. And it was really boring early on. Halftime 3-3 after Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals. First time in his career that he's ever missed 2 field goals in a game under 50 yards. And that sounds like a great stat. And I know it only came up because he missed the kicks. But that's a hell of a stat. He's played 9 seasons, and he's never in his career missed 2 kicks under 50 yards in the same game. First possession of the second half, the Buffalo Bills march all the way down the field. Second and goal from Baltimore's 3 with 9:29 to go in the third quarter. Josh Allen finds Stephon Diggs from 3 yards out for the first touchdown of the game to take a 3-10 lead. And then nothing really happened until the end of the third quarter. Things got crazy. Lamar Jackson, on third and goal with 57 seconds to go, down by 7, trying to tie the game, Lamar Jackson's intercepted in the end zone by Taron Johnson, who returns at 101 yards for the pick 6 to give the Buffalo Bills a 17-3 lead after the extra point, instead of the Ravens tying the game up at 10. And then 2 plays later, after a botched snap, Lamar Jackson picks it up, tries to make something happen, and throws it away as he's tackled, and his head bounces off of the ground, and he was ruled out for the remainder of the game with a concussion. So to start the fourth quarter, Tyler Huntley, the rookie quarterback out of Utah, my guy, from my favorite college team. I'm a big fan of Huntley. I like Huntley, and I think he's a game manager quarterback, but he's very mobile, and if he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, he could be a good quarterback in this league. I truly believe that. And he came in, he was asked to do quite a lot. His very first play, 3rd and 33 from their own 1-yard line. He did his best Lamar Jackson impression, and he scrambled for 19 yards, but they were still forced to punt the ball. And the very next possession for the Baltimore Ravens, Tyler Huntley on a 4th and 8 at Baltimore's own 29-yard line. They have to go for it, down 2 touchdowns. Huntley overthrows a wide-open Marquise Brown, who could have walked into the end zone backwards if he wanted to. And the win might have been a factor here. Josh Allen also overthrew somebody in the same part of the field. But, man, that was a wide-open touchdown, and he misses him. So it turns the ball over in their own territory. But luckily, Tyler Bass with 5:30 to go, misses the 44-yard field goal to give the Ravens life. Tyler Huntley and the Ravens march all the way down, 4th and goal, with 2:46 to go in the game and 2 timeouts. I mean, it's a long shot, but it's still possible. And on 4th and goal from the Buffalo 10, Tyler Huntley, just trying to make something happen, throws it up to Mark Andrews, who's triple coverage, but he's got a shot at it. And it goes right off of his fingertips, incomplete. Ravens would turn it over on downs, and that would be the ball game. So the one interception, the one turnover in the game, ended up being the deciding factor. The 101-yard interception return for a touchdown by Taron Johnson seals the game for Buffalo, as they will move on to take on the Kansas City Chiefs for the right to go to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson was held to no touchdowns in this game. He went 14 of 24, 162 yards, 1 interception. He had 9 carries for 34 yards. And he happened to pick the worst possible time to throw his first career red zone interception, which stamped the ticket for the AFC Championship game for the Buffalo Bills. Tyler Huntley was 6 of 13, 60 yards, with 3 carries and 32 yards in his time in the game. Josh Allen, he played good, not really a surprise there. 23 of 37, 206 yards, and 1 touchdown. The Ravens, though, when you look at the statistics, they won in just about every major statistical category. Total yards, they led 340 to 220 over the Bills. Passing yards, they had 190. The Bills had 2 less, 188. And dominated in rushing yards. Baltimore with 150 rushing yards. The Bills only had 32. But what proved to be the difference is the one turnover in the game, the 101-yard pick six, which unfortunately for Lamar Jackson is probably going to be all he hears about this offseason. And some other news that came in after the game, Adam Schefter tweeted out that the Ravens are planning to release Mark Ingram on Tuesday, the 3-time Pro Bowl running back. I'm not really shocked at this. I had him on fantasy, and he pretty much ruined my life. So, I mean, I didn't not see it coming. They have J.K. Dobbins, which he proved that he could be viable, but also Gus Edwards came out of nowhere this year. So, I mean, I understand it as far as, salary cap wise, but still, Mark Ingram, a free agent. And the other game in the AFC, oh my gosh, this game was so close to making me happy. The Browns at the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, we are talking playoffs, and I mentioned the Cleveland Browns. It's weird. It's going to take a while, but we'll get through this. Opening possession, Kansas City marches right down the field. 2nd and goal from Cleveland's 1-yard line as Patrick Mahomes takes it in himself on the ground for the 1-yard touchdown to give the Chiefs a 6-0 lead after the missed PAT by Harrison Butker. Second quarter now, 13:48 to go, 2nd and 19 at Cleveland's 20. Patrick Mahomes passed to Travis Kelce for 20-yard touchdown to take a 3-13 lead over the Browns. Browns can't do anything with it. Chiefs' very next possession, 3:09 to go, Harrison Butker makes a 50-yard field goal to take a 3-16 lead with just over 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. While the second quarter's winding down, this will be the play that haunts the Cleveland Browns and all their fans until next season. It's 1st and 10 at Kansas City's 26-yard line with 1:42 to go. Baker Mayfield passes it to Rashard Higgins on the right, who looks like he's got a touchdown as he stretches the ball out. It's hit by a Chiefs defender, comes loose over the pylon, which by rule is a turnover and a touchback. Kansas City football. They were about ready to punch in a touchdown to try to trim the lead down. Instead, Kansas City gets the ball back and kicks a 28-yard field goal to take a 3-19 lead into the half. Then with 9:29 to go in the third quarter, 1st and goal, Baker Mayfield finds Jarvis Landry for the 4-yard touchdown And interesting, the Browns don't go for 2. They just take the 1 PAT point to keep it a 9-point game, 10-19. And the next possession for the Chiefs proved to be a costly one, as Patrick Mahomes, while he was scrambling for a couple-yard gain, gets tackled from behind on the neck area. Looked like some whiplash went along, and he had to exit the game with a concussion. He tried to stand up. It was a scary scene. He couldn't even stand. It looked like he was like drooling too. He barely could stand up after the hit, and he had to exit the game, and Chad Henne had to come in to finish out the game for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that took place with 7:30 to go in the third quarter. That same possession, with 4:24 to go in the third quarter, Harrison Butker made a 33-yard field goal to give the Chiefs a 22-10 lead. Fourth quarter now, 11:07 to go. Kareem Hunt rushes to the right for a 3-yard touchdown to cut the lead to 5 for the Browns, 17-22. And man, at this point, I had hope. I thought the Chiefs, with Chad Henne in the game, no Patrick Mahomes, and the Browns just scoring a touchdown with the momentum, I thought the Browns had a perfect opportunity to take out the Kansas City Chiefs, their only opportunity. With 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Chad Henne decides to punt the ball with his arm by just throwing it straight up into the end zone for Cleveland Brown, the easiest interception of Carl Joseph's life, and it gives the Browns life as they get the ball back, only trailing by 5 with 8 minutes to go in the ballgame, and no Patrick Mahomes. Things looked good for Cleveland. But Kansas City's defense steps up. They force the Browns to punt the ball with 4:19 to go, and with 1:51 to go in the fourth quarter, a key 3rd and 14 at Kansas City's own 35-yard line, Chad Henne was able to scramble and dive for the first down. He thought he got it. He was freaking out, celebrating mad, like he got the first down, which he didn't even get. He was ruled shy after they bring out the chains to measure. 4th and inches, Andy Reid, you know he's going to go for it. Even with his backup quarterback on their own 48-yard line, Henne passes it to a wide-open Tyreek Hill for 5 yards, who stays in bounds and ends the ball game. Browns never get the ball back after they were forced to punt. And that's the most Cleveland Browns thing that there is. Have the perfect opportunity to win a playoff game against a backup quarterback, and they lose to Chad Henne. I was right about Cleveland covering their spread. You know, they were, before kickoff, they were 8-point underdogs. So they still covered the spread, but I was also right about Cleveland being the Cleveland Browns and finding any way to not win games that they should win. So they lose that game. Final score 17-22 as the Chiefs, with questions now about Mahomes' health, will take on the Bills in the AFC Championship game. So our last 4 quarterbacks remaining: Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. Or Chad Henne, if Patrick Mahomes can't go. 2 State Farm reps in that bad man Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes boy, the newcomer Josh Allen, and a senior citizen. Our last 4 quarterbacks remaining. But combined, 8 Super Bowl wins, and 6 of them are the senior citizen. So, I mean, respect where it is due, but nonetheless. The Chiefs are 3-point favorites over the Buffalo Bills, and the Packers are 4-point favorites over the Buccaneers as of right now. And those could change, and expect them to change a lot if Patrick Mahomes isn't able to play. I think both of these games are going to be really close. It's hard to predict the Chiefs and Bills game when you don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going to be a part of it. Assuming he plays, I like the Chiefs. And if he doesn't play, then I like the Bills. Chad Henne would have to play out of his mind. Interestingly enough, both of these teams actually played each other in Week 6. The games were in the opposite stadiums that they're going to be in this week for the playoffs, but the Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills in Week 6 at Buffalo 26-17, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers steamrolled over Green Bay in Tampa 38-10. The Packers and Buccaneers game should be a high-scoring game as both teams average over 30 points a game. The Packers are first in the league with points per game at 31.8 points a game. The Buccaneers average 1 point less, 30.8 points a game. So there should be a room for a lot of points. Going into this game, though, Antonio Brown, as of right now, is questionable, and Chris Godwin, who's had a lot of drops this season. So it's a key injury to keep your eye on, whether or not the fact Antonio Brown is able to go or not. And remember, Antonio Brown, he might be like the third receiver on this team, but it's still Antonio Brown. If he's not in, like that's big. I'm taking the Packers because of Aaron Rodgers, and that's basically the only reason. Aaron Rodgers is playing better football than anybody in the league, even better than Patrick Mahomes. He's going to win the MVP, most likely. And the Packers are rolling, and they're at home. They're going to have fans in the stands. I think it's going to be a really tough game for Tom Brady to come in and win. And if Tom Brady is able to beat Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers on his way to the Super Bowl with his new team, that would be insane. I hope not. I hope it never happens. I hope it never comes true. Tom Brady's been here a million times in the postseason. Aaron Rodgers is 1-3 in NFC Championship games, and he's struggled in NFC Championship games as far as his quarterback rating goes. He's dropped to 78, which is well off his career mark, 103.9. But he's playing better football, arguably, than he ever has been. And it's weird to think that this guy might be on the move soon. Because remember, the Packers, they drafted Jordan Love out of Utah State to ultimately replace Rodgers, which I think was a stupid move on itself. Because, I mean, clearly Aaron Rodgers can still ball. Tom Brady is about to make his 14th conference championship game appearance. 13 of them in the AFC. His first in the NFC. But man, 14. 14 is twice as many as any other quarterback in NFL history. In second place, Joe Montana has 7 conference championship appearances, and John Elway, Terry Bradshaw, and Roger Staubach each have 6. The key for the Green Bay Packers to win this game is going to be putting pressure on Tom Brady. They got to put pressure on Tom Brady and force him to make mistakes. He's never been good under pressure. If you pressure Brady and blitz him and get him rattled, he'll make mistakes, and he'll prove that he's human, and he'll throw some bad passes and make stupid decisions. So it's going to be dependent on the Packers getting enough pressure on Brady to force mistakes and give the Packers extra opportunities. The Saints lost the game against the Buccaneers because they turned the ball over, and I don't see the Packers doing that same thing. The Saints turned the ball over 4 times. I don't think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense, number 1 in the league, is going to turn the ball over 4 times. Whoever wins the turnover battle in this game is probably going to win the game. It's going to be about the defense putting pressure on those quarterbacks and seeing if they can make them make any mistakes. I mean, future Hall of Famers having great seasons, both of them, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. But one of them's going to slip up. Somebody's going to throw a bad pass, an interception that's going to cost their team the game. That's just how I see it going down. I like the Packers in this one, though. Aaron Rodgers at home in the playoffs. He's playing MVP football. There's going to have fans at the game, limited number anyway. But it's going to make a huge difference. I think home field advantage is going to be the X factor. We really haven't seen it all season because there's been no fans. But when it's there, when you haven't had it all season, it makes a difference. And I like the Packers. I think they're going to win somewhere around like 31-41. The Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills game, for me, it's as simple as if Patrick Mahomes is going to play, then I think the Chiefs are going to win. If he doesn't play, I don't think they have a chance. I mean, no, I'm not trying to throw shade on Chad Henne. He played good when he came in, but he's not Patrick Mahomes. And there's only a few teams in the league that can even beat the Bills at full strength. And I don't think a Chad Henne-led Kansas City Chiefs team is going to be able to do it. So obviously, that's going to be the headline, is whether or not Patrick Mahomes is good to go. I mean, with the concussion, you never know. I mean, usually it's at least a week. But you got to figure the Chiefs and Andy Reid, if Patrick Mahomes, even if he isn't able to practice all week, as long as he's cleared medically, I think they'll put him in. If Mahomes clears concussion protocol, this one is going to be a dogfight. I like the Chiefs narrowly. I think they win like 41-38 if Mahomes plays. If Mahomes doesn't play, I mean, the Bills are going to run away with it. And how about this? Patrick Mahomes, 5-1 career postseason record to start his career. And yes, I hope I just jinxed him. I might release another podcast talking about these matchups when I have a better understanding of, who's actually going to be playing in them. But I wanted to end on a random stat that I love. NFC Championship game appearances since 1997. Tom Brady, 1. The Dallas Cowboys, 0. Years in the NFC since 1997. Tom Brady, 1. Dallas Cowboys, all 24. That's all I have, so until next time,